we hear the gospel or the work of the teaching of God. The this the show God, Jesus, the second person of the Trinity, are the truths of the Trinity. Is the Verbo is the second person. It is the truth of the Father, and is very appropriate to he come in this world to teach us because he is the truth of the Father, the second person, and this is um, he are the shower, and he are in this life he give in the world the seed, and the seed is the teaching of Jesus. Is the same thing that the truth of Jesus, and we can receive this seed if we don't have the faith. The faith is the beginning of the Christian life, because the first thing we receive when a person is converted, the first things that this person receives is the faith, and all other activities, all other actions, all other graces that he received is after receive the faith. That's why the faith is essential, is the fundament of all the Christian life, the fundament of all the virtues. We can have the hope if we don't have the faith, because the hope we are waiting something, what the things that teach us the faith, and the charity, we love God, we love the other persons by the love of God. But what is the fundament of this to know God is the faith. And the fundament of charity is the faith. If there is no faith, there is no charity. And we want to have a big charity, it's absolutely necessary to have a big faith. That is illusion to say, we have charity, but we don't have faith. That is the charity modernist. That is the charity of the Council Vatican II. He speak always charity, but no faith. And this is the error of the spirits of the ecumenism. Ecumenism say we need to love all people, all the countries, all the people of all the religions, but there is no faith. It's only charity. It's a lie. It's not possible if you have charity if you don't have faith, and you can love the others if you don't have first the faith. And this faith is the seed that Jesus, when he comes in this world, give us his seed, his teaching, his truth, and this seed was communicated to us by the church, by the teaching of the popes, the teaching of all the successors of the apostles, the bishops and the priests, and there is a continuity of this teaching that comes from the Christ. That why we need to be very attached to this tradition of the truth of the church. Always there is a continuity in all the story of the teaching of Jesus in the teaching of the church. There is continuity, and that is historic. It's not illusion. How say the modernists? The modernists say the faith is a creation of the sentiment religious. It's a fruit of the sentimental religion. Is not something objective for the modernists, but we can verify all the story, all the writings of the fathers of the church, all the story of the documents of the popes can be verified. It's history, and we can verify that the faith are always the same. The teach of the truths is the same truths always. But today the modernists say, you have your truth, me I have my truth, the other person have his truth. But it's not the truth because it's contradictory. The religions, different religions say contradictory things. It's not the truth. There is only one truth. And that is illusion of modernists. There are different truths. No, there is only one, and the other things are illusion. There are the lies. There are the creation of the imagination of the heretics, of the people that not have next with Christ, and that is today the world are very live in a very big illusion. The world, modern world, are imagine many things, but it's not fundament in the truth of God. Because the most important truth is the truth of God. We can know some truths by with the reflection, human reflection, by the science. Sometimes we can know some truths of the natural truths, but the truth more important is not the truth natural of the natural things, is the truth of God, the supernatural truth. And this is the first truth. All the other truths are dependence of the truth of God. There is no possibility contradiction in the truth. And there is no contradiction. Can be contradiction the science and the faith. But today there are many lies in the science that are not proved. It's the lies. It's not true that the science say that. But many people say us that the science say that, but it's not true. The science don't say that. There is no possibility in contradiction in the truth of the faith, in the truth of the natural truths. There is always harmony. And now there are many lies that are teaching to the children in the schools to say there is contradiction in the faith, in the natural science. And that can be verified. There are persons that make studies of these things. We need to look for that. There is possibility to verify. It can be proved the existence of the harmony in all the truth of God. There are the truth in the creation. God made the creation. God made all the things material. And after God, He give us the truth of the things, spiritual things, the spiritual, supernatural truths. But it's not contradiction, never. And today, the people are become relativist. Relativism say can be contradiction in the truth, but they are not okay in the midst. But it's not contradiction in the truth. There always are harmony in all the truths. And that's why in the world today make us to forget the truth of God. And that is the sense of this parable. This God is take this seed and give in this world, but the one come the animals and take these seeds, and they are the devil. And they are to the fragility human, because sometimes we hear something and we forget it. It's a fragility, human fragility. But sometimes there are the lies of the world, the enemies of God, that want to we forget it, these things. That's why we need to be attentive and look always for the truth. And that is the when we are looking for tradition, we speak about tradition, the tradition of the church. The essential tradition is the teaching of Jesus. That is the essential tradition. It is the teaching of the faith. It's not complicated thing. And we want to conserve the tradition. Is the same thing to say we want to conserve the truth of God, the teaching of Jesus, the teaching of the church, the teaching of the saints, and all the bishops of the story are saying the same thing. But today there is more danger, because there are more, the war come more, have more power and have more possibilities to deceive us. That is, today there is more difficult to conserve the faith. But when a person has the love of the truth, and this love is no compromise, and we have the help of that, because God helps the persons that are looking for the truth, and that is the truth as something absolute. God is the truth absolute. God is the truth, eternal truth. And after we have the other truths, but are always in relation with the truth of God. All the truths in the world are independence of the truth of God. If something exists, something objects are real, is because the truth of God gives them the existence. The dependence of the truth material, the dependence of the truth of the creatures, is the essential dependence of the truth of God. If God not think about them, these truths, these things, these objects, these creatures will be despair, non-exist more. And there is, we exist because the truth of God give us the existence. We are independence, essential on the truth of God, and we need all the truths in this world, all the truths natural, and the truths we have in our means are independence always on the truth of God. And this is something absolute. And we have a love absolute of the truth, or we have a love relative of the truth. If we have a love relative, maybe we don't perseverate in the faith. We must to have a love absolute of the truth. And if we have this love absolute of the truth, we are traditionalists. We have the bless of God. We have the help of God because we are looking for the truth, absolute, not relative, not partiality in the truth, not all the truth. And when there are people that are looking for the truth, God help him. There are many cases of that. And Saint Thomas Aquinas say, if there is a man in Islam where there are no priests, no church, nothing, and this man have the sincerity in desire to the truth, and to look to serve God, to love God, God, if it's necessary, will send an angel to evangelize this man. But it's important that this person have a love absolute of the truth. And we need to understand that because today there are many persons that are not a bad person. There are persons that love the world, but it's not a love absolute, it's a love relative. And God wants we have the love absolute, not the love relative. Or have faith relative. No, the faith absolute. The love of the truth, the love of God must be absolute. And that's there is no more person in this world that have the love absolute of the truth. There are not too much. You can find the people that have the love of the world, the love of the truth, but it's not absolute. It's relative. If I can, I make my duties, and they make many conditions to serve God. There are a good reason to not do his duties, and to look for the tradition, the good tradition of the church. And that is the spirit of the Catholic liberals. They are always relative in his action. They are not look all absolute truth. They are looking for some truth that can be considered with the word, with today the people have some attitude, and we need to be well with all people because we need to be accepted by this world, and that is not absolutely. We are to do that. We need to have a little compromise, or a big compromise with the world. But if we have the absolute love of the truth, of the will of God, of the truth of the church, we are persecuted by the world. Is not other possibility, and we need to think about that. But because God is absolute person, God is the Jesus are God. This absolute, the divinity is something absolute, and now we can make something conditional. We can make something partial to the service of God. It must be always absolute. And that is why today our many Catholics are made exception in the truth, made exception in the moral, made exception in his duties, made exception in the tradition, because there are always a good reason to say, oh, I can do that, I can go to the mass, I can say my rosary, because I have yet another reasons. They are absolute. That is they're not looking for the truth like something absolute. We we can sometimes no it's possibility I can say my rosary is possible, yes, but the love of the truth are always absolute, and we are have the love of the truth is absolute. My life is more there is the sanctity the life, because the sanctity is the heroicity in the love of the truth. Is that is sanctity. The signs are signs because here are his choice for God, for the will of God, for the truth of God, for the all things that come from God. They are always absolute, not compromise. Today, the modern people have many difficulty to understand that. God is always give us, is not a tyrant. God give us sometime there can be a exception. Yes, you are in the hospital. You can go to the mass. It's no problem. But you have always to decide to be absolute. Yes, to be always. If you have the time, you have the health. You go always. You respect always your duties. Only when there are impossibility, can be there is a possibility, but it's not a vicious exception. But because the love of the truth is no exception. But sometimes in the practice and some actions we can do, but that God don't ask that to make the impossible things. But we can have always the affection, and that is absolute. Yeah? The affection to God, and God, because God is the truth, and we are not the truth. We participate to the truth of God, but the truth remains something absolute. No can be modified. It's like that. And we have this conception of the truth. We have fruits. The seed will bear fruits, and that is the teaching of this parable. That you receive the seed in your soul, you will bear fruit. There is multiplication of the seed. Sometimes 60%, sometimes more, like say the gospel. And that is the conception that we need to have to be the real traditionalist, to be the real resistance, is to have the conception, the real conception of the truth. That the conception is the same of all the story of the church. The conception that there are things that are relative, yes, some things are relative in this life, but some things are absolute. The truth of God is something that can be exception. But you need to accept all the faith. We need to accept all the teaching of God. We need to accept all the will of God. And the will of God is not tyrannic. Is not God understands us. When I can, sometimes we can make some actions, but the concept remains. The concept of the truth remains always. Then in this concept, in this love that is in our means, in our heart, there is no exception. And you can maybe sometimes you can do some actions, but your means, your will remain this acceptation of the truth. That is important to understand that, to understand what is the Church Catholic, what is the truth of the Church Catholic, not the new church, the new church, the new conciliar church not have this concept of all the history, all the Church Catholic in the 20 cycles. The conception of the conciliar truth is another conception. And for the conciliar church, the truth is relative. And for the Catholic liberals, the truth is relative. For the Catholic that want to make compromise with the conciliar church, they are relative in his action, they not are absolute in his conception of the truth. And we need to understand that, and God will give us all the grace necessary to be faithful for the truth. But we need to desire, to ask this love of the truth, and the goodness of God is always absolute. And what is God is some person that are absolute, not like us. We are relative, but the truth is in us, is absolute, and we participate. This truth of God is a very big gift of God, and that is that is very well understood by the science. We need to hear sometimes the homilies of Bishop Lefebvre, and you can hear this man have a big love of the truth, a big love of God, a big love of the Church, the Church Catholic, a big love of the treasures of the Church. That's why he saved the tradition, this man. And it's the same. We need to imitate this example. And that's why the world, the modern world, the world that don't love the truth, condemn Bishop Lefebvre. We need to remind in this spirit is not easy today. It's very difficult. And we ask this grace, to Our Lady, because Our Lady in the Passion of the Christ had the same persecution, the same temptation, we can say a temptation. The world killed his son, but Our Lady resists, remain in the faith. No doubts. No, nothing that we can say, oh, it's not okay. No, Our Lady is perfect person. Is immaculate. Our Lady, the love of Our Lady is immaculate. The faith of Our Lady is immaculate. No problem. No, there is no imperfections in his faith, in his charity. But the Pope Francis said, Our Lady, Saint Joseph need to fight with his imperfections, and that is heresy, because Our Lady is a dogma of faith that Our Lady are immaculate, and in Our Lady there is no sins, nothing. There is no imperfections. The charity of Our Lady is perfect. The faith of Our Lady is perfect. And if we deny that, we are heretics, because the dogma of the Immaculate Conception say Our Lady don't have original sin. Our Lady was perfect, was very perfect, faithful to all the grace that he received. That's not same. It's a person are preserved of the disorder of the world. We need to go to Our Lady to ask him to give us the fidelity to the truth and the faith and the love of God. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.